Japan-based content online can be so exhausting. Whether it's the same 5 things that people love to bring up and regurgitate all over social media, or it's someone's first time in Tokyo and they just generalize the whole country after one visit. In fact, I made it my life mission to make fun of these accounts by creating a parody account about Japan, and it's doing quite well. Shameless plug, I know, already 20 seconds into the video, go check out my stuff. But with me making parodies about Japan, I've probably sat through so much slop when it comes to Japan-based content, and here are some that you should try and avoid. You know what, to be honest, just delete social media. For those who saw this video for the very first time, I am so sorry. I apologize for putting this on your radar, but whenever you do come across it, just know to swipe away and never think about it ever again. These type of videos, plain and simple, just gross. So this is kind of a pattern with a lot of these lazy Japan-based content channels, where they just find a cute Japanese girl, and most of the time they don't even ask for consent. And I'm pretty sure they're not even asking for consent because most of these people don't speak Japanese. A lot of these videos where they do the fist bumps, I don't think they are set up or fake in any way. A lot of these interactions seem like it's pretty genuine because you can tell how disturbed some of these women on camera are. If you scroll through the library of content that they make, it's mainly Japanese girls that blow up. And to put things in perspective, if this channel is monetized, which most likely it is monetized, they are raking in hundreds if not thousands of dollars a month on making slop like this.
I think I've seen you on TikTok.
Not me.
Oh no, that's not me. It's the other 5 English teachers that do this every weekend. The audacity of just giving them a piece of chocolate makes me so mad because they're making so much money off of the likeness of these women. They are exploiting these women and then making so much money in return. Give them a diamond ring, give them car keys, give them something else more than chocolate, because I honestly cannot understand why people like content like that. Actually, I do understand why. It's Japanese girls. People just love Japanese girls, and that will always be content. It's all kind of hitting me at once, but I feel like I'm just being a content cop. Or maybe content keisatsu.
What we do here is go back.
You guys, did you know in Japan they have women-only carriages? It's like Saudi Arabia in here. I am the women inspector, checking there's only women on this carriage. Yep. There's only women here. Cool, no men. I don't see a single man in sight. Yep, check complete.
Yeah, let's just I don't even want to touch this one. Let's just move on.
One of the hardest things to grasp about Japan is that cringe and sarcasm do not exist there, especially cringe. That's why maid cafes do so well there. The maid cafes everywhere. But so cringe doesn't exist, not at all. Nothing cringy, doesn't happen, right? So if you walk down the street in America, dressed like Harry Potter, especially nighttime, well, everyone's gonna be like, who is this nerd? What is this nerd doing here? I walked down the street, for the meme, in the streets of Shibuya at nighttime, dressed like Harry Potter, right? And some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life would see me and they'd say to their friend, they'd be like, it's fucking Harry Potter. And then they would be like, Wingardium Leviosa, and I'd pull out my wand and I'd be like, Avada Kedavra, and they would be like, and they'd literally like fall and pretend to die in the middle of the street. Like, that will not happen anywhere else in the world. Like, literally they just go along with it. Like, you could dress up as a wizard and people would take you seriously.
Phew, I'm so glad to hear that cringe doesn't exist in Japan. I can't wait to go to Japan and dress up as Naruto Uzumaki. Cringe does exist in Japan, and this guy is completely off about this. In fact, there is a Japanese word for cringe, and it's called kishoi, or kisho for short. Just be careful on where you use that word. So, when you're a foreigner, in most cases a white foreigner in Japan, you often get this shield around you that protects you from certain kinds of criticism. Presenting the Gaijin Pass. Flexibility with cultural norms. Forgiveness of language mistakes. And you can get yourself out of any situation if you just say, Nihongo tabemasen. And if you live in Japan for a very long time, you can kind of sense that the Gaijin Pass is more negative than positive once you live here for a few years. But that could be a whole topic on another video. You can basically do anything you want as a foreigner here and get less criticized for it. Obviously, it won't work in all parts of Tokyo. If this guy were to dress up as Harry Potter in Shinagawa or something while everyone is trying to get home after a busy day, obviously they're not going to be happy about it. But when you go to Shibuya, it tends to be a lot more young people, and usually a lot of the times they are drunk. So they're a lot more open to this kind of shenanigans. Also, you shouldn't be swinging your wand to people. That's pretty weird. I'm also so sick of these content creators coming to Japan for the very first time and then generalizing all of Japan from going to Shibuya or Shinjuku. Those two places does not represent Japan as a whole at all. I'm just lost for words. Cringe does exist in Japan, and this guy is very cringe for making content like this. Ugh. Do you hear this? Do you hear this guy? By the way, guys, this is Goomba, my original character that I made. It's definitely not belonging to a certain entity. His name is Goomba. He just goons on the chair. Everyone say hi and subscribe for Goomba. Oh boy, street interviews again. What more can I say on this topic? I actually made a video a few months ago talking about street interviews, and if you want to know more in depth about street interviews, definitely watch that video. I highly recommend it. Do it now. Well, it's been a good 3-4 months since that last video, and the game has changed quite a lot. Move aside Takashi from Japan, we have Tokyo Sims.
彼女いますか？います。元カノから電話来たら出ますか？出ますね。ちなみにユニさん浮気したことありますか？
浮気したことないです。
ないですね、ないですね、浮気は。浮気？はい。浮気ありますよ、全然。You know, I tried.
If you don't know my stance on street interviews, I am generally opposed to it because it just kind of paints a bad picture of Japan. Most of these street interviews are taken in the streets of Shibuya or Shinjuku, and a lot of the times you'll have some unhinged comments, especially when it comes to like cheating and whether you would date a foreigner. And this is obviously meant for cute Japanese girls on camera. Tokyo Sims is quite interesting to me because it kind of reminds me of Konbini Confessions a little bit, where it's a little bit unhinged, but they really do play into the part of asking whether Japanese guys cheat or not. And a lot of the times, if you don't actually think about it, a lot of the street interviews on Tokyo Sims channels are quite set up, whether they're friends of the channel or they are asked to say weird things on camera.
ホーミーズにお休みのキスはしたことありますか？
お休みのキス、いや彼女以外はないです。ないで。
A lot of these street interviews are fake, and I talked about it a lot on the video. I'm so sorry for bringing it up many times. I honestly think a lot of the times these fun and obviously scripted street interviews can be quite harmless, but sometimes you'll come across things like this.
一番悪い経験なんですか？
スマホ取られた。なんかウズベキスタン人にスマホを盗まれました。
やっぱり外人ダメですね。
危ない人多いかも。喧嘩する渋谷とか。みんななんか外国人喧嘩。
渋谷で喧嘩する人は日本人か外人どっちが多いんですか？
外国人。
何の国かどう思いますか？
わかんないけど、やっぱ肌が黒めの人が喧嘩してるイメージある。
だから外人か日本人どっちがセクハラするの？
外国人めっちゃお腹触ってくる。
なぜ？
わかんない。キモいね。
When these street interviews try to push a narrative by getting a Japanese person on camera and being like, tourists are bad, right? is super damaging for a lot of reasons. When you're baiting people to be overly negative towards a group of people, I think that can be very, well, harmful. These channels suck.
Japan really is living in 2050. I want to kill myself.
These type of content bring out the worst in me. I just want to commit a crime. I just want to commit a crime and blame it on Goomba. The most popular format for these videos is when they put in the caption,
Japan is really in the year 2050.
They show the most dumb thing of all time. Whether it be a dumb product that they found inside a Daiso or something completely irrelevant and not even based in Japan to make people upset. All you get in these comment sections are people talking about how Japan is actually not in the year 2050 because obviously they're not. Japan has a lot of things that are not up to date. They were still using floppy disks 2 years ago and they still use fax machines. And this is the same thing that is brought up in the comment section over and over and over and over again. These Japan in 2050 channels have become so self-aware that they know what they're pulling. I forgot to mention, Instagram views make a lot of sense, right? We all use Instagram, but where a lot of people get the views from is from Facebook. Facebook makes so much views from these dumb videos because one, it's engaging as hell and you can't stop to not hate on it. It's painfully obvious what they're trying to do and they're just pretty much getting away with it. Stepping away from Japan being in the year 2050, they also have content like this where everyone is just so mind blown about how clean Japanese water is during a typhoon or a flood. People are struggling and losing their lives from these things, and you're commenting and making videos about how clean Japanese water is. There's a time and place. Here's another video that made me super upset. This is probably one of the worst offenders of place in Japan content, where this guy is minding his own business, probably trying to get to work or even go home, and this guy behind him is filming him without permission and then putting it online for clout to get engagement. It's all so dystopian. Can we just leave people alone? A lot of these people don't want to be on camera. You might think, hey, it's not a big deal. It's still pretty gross to be putting people's likeness online without asking first.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now.
The Japan content creator landscape gets worse and worse every single day. I feel like we stray further from making good and compelling content to feeding slop that makes people emotional in the worst ways. This is not only for Japan content, obviously. I think this is just social media as a whole. It just works that way, and honestly, I sometimes just need to really shut it all off. This past year, I've been trying my best to cut down on watching short form content because a lot of it is just mindless slop. Obviously, there's some good stuff in between, but a lot of the times they don't really serve any purposes. I mean, like, think about it. When was the last time you remember a reel? Do you actually doom scroll and then feel something afterwards? Because I just feel bad. Everything online has become so negative, and I think I just wanted to make this video to, well, tell people to cut things off and try and curate your own For You page. You can actually do that by just restricting these accounts or straight up blocking or muting them, and you're never gonna get content like that. Anyways, I don't want to be too preachy and put you guys to sleep. If you like content like this, please consider subscribing. I'm actually going to make more video going in depth about certain things that happen here in Japan. Also, if you have any videos that you want me to react to or talk about, please send it my way. I would love to make a video on it. And I'll see you guys another time. Goodbye. Goodbye now. Thank you so much.